Hello and welcome to the Bill and Kelly Show. Our guest today is Bev Davis, who's an author, and she is coming again from a very popular area from our guests lately, Wisconsin. So, welcome to the Bill and Kelly Show, Beth.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you.
Oh, we're honored to have you. So,
Absolutely.
Beth is an author, and she has a specific topic that she kind of guides her books around. And besides that, I just discovered that you are a phenomenal photographer.
Oh,
I went up to your Facebook page and saw some really neat things. So, Beth, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you came to be an author?
well, I don't know if you have enough time, but I grew up on the far south side of Chicago. I'm a South Sider from originally from Roseland, and I grew up in Roseland and lived in Beverly forever and ever and ever. And about 15 years ago, I felt called to go to seminary to ministry, and I left a career as an interior designer at Marshall Fields and moved to Hyde Park and got a Master of Divinity degree at McCormick Theological Seminary.
Yep.
And from there on, when I moved to Wisconsin to do a chaplain residency up in Wausau, and from stayed in Wisconsin, hopped around Wisconsin, pastored a little church in Stratford, which is a little town, 1,200 people. It was a little
Hmm.
different for a girl from the South Side.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about cows.
Well, you know that South Side accent and the Wisconsin accent isn't really too much different, if you ask me.
No, but they can pick it up.
Oh, that's
And then
great.
from
That's
there to Milwaukee, I worked as a hospice chaplain for 7 years.
mhm.
Oh, beautiful.
To Madison, chaplain, and doing a little bit of everything right now. I'm a chaplain and then also pastoring a little church and doing a lot with my books now. I feel since I've been called to write books, I feel that that's kind of my ministry because the first one came to me in a dream. I was going through this huge change in my life, and the book brought back memories of being bullied, and that bullying kept me from really speaking out about my feelings and talking in front of people. And I didn't know what I was going to say. I'm going to be a chaplain. I'm going to walk into a room. What am I going to say? And had this dream, and it was about this little elephant who's born with one perfect ear and one ear on top of his head. You can see there he is.
Oh,
Oh,
So this is Gray. There's a lot of expectations about him being born. He's going to be perfect, and he wasn't perfect. I think he's pretty perfect though. So he's bullied and marginalized, and just treated very poorly. But he just keeps doing what he's doing, and he ends up going from being plain old gray because that's the color to being great gray, savior of the town, and how he becomes an influence on other people. And along the way, I realized that was a little bit like me. I really not much was expected of me. I was going to do this, and that was it. But there's something inside of me that keeps pushing me.
hmm.
And sometimes I wish it would stop, but it's not going to happen any day soon.
Oh.
So,
Well,
um,
we hope it doesn't, because I've heard some amazing things about your books, and
oh,
specifically
thank you.
this topic that you're speaking about, bullying. It's something that's prevalent in our society today, and it's not going to go away.
No.
Schools have been mandated that it's gotten so bad that they have to have an anti-bullying program.
Yep.
Some of it works and some of it doesn't. And, it depends which side that you come from. And, unfortunately, unless you've been in those shoes, which I wish every school administrator were at some time been bullied so they could understand, because until you've been in those shoes, you really don't know the feelings. You don't
Remember
know.
who the bully was
Mhm.
right.
until after I wrote the book, and I started thinking about it and thinking about it more. And one night I woke up in the middle of the night and his name came to me.
Wow.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
And I went, now I can Google him. I found out that he had passed away 6 months earlier from a motorcycle accident. And I
Wow.
honestly didn't know how to feel. I mean, I felt
Right.
sorry for him, but I was like, I'm letting this person run my life and he's not even alive anymore. So that day was like the day I felt free to express who I am.
Right.
No.
I love that.
Yeah,
Others.
good for you. Good for you. And we wish a lot of people, taken down that path. Unfortunately, there is, I hate to bring this up, but a high instance of suicide in the elementary and the middle school because of this prevalent bullying that's going on. And so it's good to know people get beyond that path and see a way through it.
Lost
And
you.
oh, you lost me? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Zoom is playing tricks on us today.
I think it is too.
I'm going to try
Problem
some.
yesterday too.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
this is.
underpaid, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people Zooming. I got kids in school Zooming and everyone's Zooming.
Doing their schoolwork.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
doggone Zoom.
Boy, where would we be without Zoom right now?
Oh
Right,
God.
right.
Right.
Eek!
Or as that minister on Saturday Night Live called it, the Zoom machine.
That's on the Zoom machine.
I missed it. I gotta look at that.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
funny.
yeah. They had tried to hold a service via Zoom, and it was so comical because people wouldn't mute their microphones, and so they kept talking over the minister, and it was great.
Oh, I gotta really watch because my husband and I do that every Sunday.
Right. It was
Oh.
hilarious. The kids, like this lady's like, I said, shut up. The minister can hear you. It was hilarious.
We're in church.
It was
And
great.
then he'd
Oh,
say,
yeah, gotta
Sister
get-
Jones, you got to mute your microphone. That was an amazing thing. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, this may become a part of our culture. It's, so
I'd be surprised.
yeah. Things are getting crazy out there. So talk to us a bit about more how you had this calling to become an author, and your books speak to respect and bullying, anti-bullying, if you will. Talk a bit about your books, a little bit more detail, like the one you just mentioned with the elephant.
Yeah. Well, the first three are all about Great Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Great Gray is the elephant who's born not perfect, and his family, they're in India. They're an Indian elephant, and they are in captivity. And when you're an elephant in captivity, you have a mahout, which is a keeper that takes care of you. Because when you're in captivity, you don't know how to wash yourself. You don't know how to feed yourself. You have to learn it all. You have to be taught.
Sure.
And there's a lot of excitement about him being born. But when he's born, he's got this little issue with his ears. Can you see?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And his
guy.
father's horrified because he was supposed to be perfect. And he seems to be the only one. But anyway, they try to cover him up so that Papa can't see his crazy ear. It doesn't work. And then he just gets all bent out of shape because I'm supposed to have a perfect child. And, and so anyway, it just keeps on going on. Instead of carrying the Maharaja in the festivals, he's digging dirt and rolling barrels on the sea, on the edge of the sea, and he develops this talent with his ears. He can communicate by twitching his ears. He spells out words with his ears.
Aw.
It wasn't a dream. He was twitching his ears in semaphore code in my dream. So I have a little description in the back on the semaphore code.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh wow, neat.
So he spells out words.
Mm-hmm.
And in one particular case, he senses that there's like say a tsunami or a giant wave that's coming, and he spells out trouble. And the other elephants don't want to listen, but they do it finally. And because of him spelling out trouble, they get away from the sea and up in the mountain. and everybody's saved. So he becomes the hero. He goes from being goofy gray with one crazy looking ear to being, great gray, who can do fantastic things with his, because there's so much judgment going on, and I don't understand it, but that's what the first book's about.
Well, right now I'm going to pass judgment on the internet right now, which isn't behaving too well. I think it's okay to, I think it's okay to pass judgment on the internet because it's supposed to be. So, but yeah, that's amazing. You get the reader, the child, to believe that they have potential, regardless of what their deficits may be. That there's hope that they can carry on, and maybe that deficit that they have can be a unique factor in their life. So that's amazing. Gosh, that.
And so that's how the dream came, and I never thought that I would do anything with it because I never thought I'd be writing anything. I mean, I'm a visual person. That's why I think I had to have the dream, because I had the dream and then I found the words that went with the dream. So people can write, my former husband was a writer, and my grown children are fantastic writers. And I just see the words just pouring out of them. And for me, it's like, okay, I see it, now I got to find the word that goes with it. So that just means anybody can be a writer.
And what I found amazing, don't
say you got to say it.
Yeah, I wish I wanted to write. In fact, I'm thinking about getting there. But anyway, what I found amazing, a little piece where you actually have his a chart showing his interpretation of it, what he's trying to say. And that's amazing. And it just adds to the imagination for the kiddos as they're reading the book.
And it teaches children that skill too, to know what that is if they're ever out on a boat. And
yep, I show them how to spell their name, or just love, or just how to use their hands as the yeah.
That's great stuff.
That's great stuff. Yeah, it is.
Different ways of communicating.
Yeah, So moving on, you have a book out just recently, right? A book that you authored just recently, and that's Winging It, or Wing It?
Winging It.
Winging It.
It's a monarch.
Oh, look at that, butterflies.
Yeah, cool. Oh, now we're going to get stuck. Kelly's a big butterfly bird.
Oh, good.
I love birds and butterflies. I like all animals. Even great gray, I love.
Oh, yeah.
We've already started developing a wildlife sanctuary in our backyard here, so.
Oh, good. Good. You're planting milkweed?
I'm planting milkweed and butterfly bush and all kinds of things back there.
Great, because they're on their way back here. I think they're about halfway. I've been following them on the Monarch Watch website.
Nice.
Cool. Well, if you see a big migration of birds headed towards Chesterton, Indiana, you know why. They're all here. It's like a big concert. They're having a big concert back there in our backyard.
Hi.
So tell us about Winging It.
Well, Winging It is kind of a personal story. Well, I don't know if I'd say it personal. Well, I don't know how I would say it. But anyway, it's about, it takes place at my friend's house in Beverly.
Okay.
One day, when another friend calls her and says, I've got a surprise for you. And this person is like Mother Nature. We call her the Manor Midwife. She always has like 10, 15, 20 jars of caterpillars, or,
the cocoons and everything.
Cocoons, you got it. And she was going on a vacation, and she called Eileen and said, I got a surprise for you. And Eileen goes, I don't know what it's about. I talked to her, and she waits, and there's a ringing on their doorbell, and she looks down, and there's a mason jar. And in the mason jar
is a cocoon.
Oh, cool.
A jade chrysalis with a sign that says, in 12 to 15 days, something amazing will arrive. Have fun, Pat. And then the other sticky says, please help me to fly. So this is their first one. And Eileen's granddaughter, Maya, came over all the time when she was little. And so Eileen put the jar on the kitchen table, and every day and every time Maya came by, they was like, oh, nothing changing yet. And then Eileen would go, hey, and while they're out, amazing things happen. I'll show you. When they come back, the chrysalis has turned clear.
Ooh.
And you see the back underside of the monarch. So they're very, very excited about that.
Of course.
And
little miracle is happening.
so they nothing's happening. She's just hanging there. They go and they have cookies and milk and work out in the yard, watching TV, playing. And a couple hours later, they come back. Yeah, watching TV.
Yep.
They come back in, and there she is, hanging.
Oh, beautiful.
Very excited. Very, very excited. And actually, it's probably pretty good that they didn't see her before she came, was ready to be fledged, because when monarchs come out of their chrysalis, they're very damp, very wet.
Very wet,
And
yes.
and their wings won't be able to fly. So that's really a very dangerous time for them, because predators are out there waiting for them.
Absolutely.
They're nice and safe inside the jar. And then there she is. Oh,
Yay! So beautiful.
Maya gets very, very excited about this, and she decides that she wants to name the monarch Chester. I don't know why she wanted to name her Chester. She just liked the name Chester. But Eileen lifted up Maya's chin and said, well, I don't think that name is going to work out in this case. And Maya frowned. Why not? It's a good name. True, but this butterfly is a girl. So Maya puts a hand over her mouth and she giggles. Oh, well, how about Chesterina then?
I was just going to say Chesterina.
Chesterina. There you go. I love it. Chesterina is a monarch butterfly. Maya, isn't nature an amazing thing? In fact, I've been reading up on these butterflies ever since Pat dropped off her surprise.
Yay.
So there's a description of why she knew she was a she, and why he's a he. And female butterflies don't have black dots, and their veins are thicker. And male butterflies have black dots at the bottom of their wings, and their veins are thinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Tell the boys from the girls.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the end of the story, well, actually the end of this book, but the beginning of their history with fledgling monarchs, they go to a garden called Edna's Garden, and it's named for a very close friend of all of ours who saw this empty plot of land in the Beverly Morgan Park area and decided to save it and started working on it as a garden. But then she was about halfway finished, someone took her life.
Oh.
Our beautiful Edna is gone. And that was just the beginning of Eileen and Maya and myself and my son. really getting involved in helping save the monarchs. And I'm still doing it. And unfortunately, my best friend Eileen has passed away, but Maya's 21 now, and she does it with her little sister who's just 6.
Oh, beautiful.
So I'm, this book was hanging in my head for a long, long time, and I wouldn't have had the nerve to do it had I not had the dream that became great. So, you see the book, you see how you want, but I didn't have the words or the gumption to, So I'm very, very happy and pleased at how Winging It is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, these are great. I tell you, and boy, what a better way to get those in the kiddos' hands right now. They could use them, and their parents could use them too. Oh man.
Yeah. I call my books children's books for all ages.
Yeah.
Because there's so many levels to them. So, people will say, "Oh, this is Bev. She's a children's book author," and I'm like, "Why are you saying it like?"
I'm telling you right now, Kelly's going to read those books. She's going to get the books and read them. I could tell by the look on her face. She's a kid at heart. Well, more than that, though.
But all need to be. But anyway, that's how I became an author, and I love, now that I have lost not totally lost my fear of speaking in public. I'm raring to go, and any place, any time, and I really appreciate this time that we've had.
Oh, we appreciate it. We
Now, how do people find these books? How do people find out more about you?
Well, I have a website. It's called BevDavisAuthor.com. So I have a website. I have a YouTube page, whatever you want to call it. Bev Davis Author Create, and I've read not one of the Great Gray books and Winging It on YouTube. That was an adventure.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm on Amazon. The three Great Gray books are by Beverly Davis, and Winging It is Bev Davis. Okay. So there's been a little bit of confusion there, but they're all on a format where parents hire the author to read to their children and talk to their children, and and not just read the book, but talk about the book and like a little bit what we're doing here. But
that's great.
Brand new. It's called Talk a Book. You want to look it up?
That would be really great for schools too, for a teacher to have that author in their classroom if you can't have them there physically. And what a great way to introduce that to kids.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it.
Yeah.
And he wants to keep it light. He wants to not just be stuffy and sit there and read the book. You just want to talk about it and be personable. And,
that's
great. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes.
That sounds neat.
Boy. Going in another couple of months, I think.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That sounds
neat. I'm open for not being a professional or somebody who's always wanted to be an author. I really don't know my way around the things you need to do, but I found some wonderful people and they've kind of pushed me in the right direction, and that's great. And my books aren't really in any bookstores yet, because from moving from Milwaukee to Madison, that's when I was really writing, getting into the writing of the books.
Right.
So I haven't, got to get them in the bookstores, but they really, but online you can.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's great. We'll make sure that those links are up with the video, maybe shortly after it's posted. But these are I'm intrigued. I'm
super excited.
Kelly and I may just do some reading to each other. Oh man, no, it's neat, and it's neat that you've focused in on the anti-bullying series, something that. Because that's so prevalent, and it's now that there's literature that speaks to that. That's amazing. So thank you for doing that. That's
Absolutely.
Much appreciated. Boy, is there anything else you need to share with us before we wrap up the show?
Well, if you have any milkweed growing in your yard, don't cut it down.
No, butterflies love it.
Yeah.
Yep, they need it. That's the only place they lay their eggs. And if there's no milkweed, there's no butterfly egg laying. So I really feel that this could be a very special summer for the monarchs, because you can help the monarchs and still be safely away from your next door neighbor. You go find the milkweed, look under the leaves, and find the little egg, take it home, nurture it, and you just never know when and where and how you're going to be so excited and thrilled with nature, and you'll be doing a good thing.
Absolutely. What a fun project.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes. And that another thing about this book is it really kind of describes how you can.
Yeah.
The caterpillar is already a chrysalis when Eileen gets him, but the caterpillar, needs to be fed the milkweed leaves.
Sure.
It's really a wonderful, it's a wonderful story, how life goes on. The places where
No, definitely. It's the beginning in life, and that's a beautiful analogy. With that, I guess we'll wrap things up. And Bev, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming on and being our guest.
So great.
It is.
Thank you.
And sometime we'll have you over to look at our sanctuary in the back.
Yeah.
I would love to.
So, and with that, folks, we hope you all have a very safe and enjoyable rest of the day and weekend. And Bev, thank you again. We hope you have a marvelous weekend. And thank you for all that you bring. And also, I want to mention to people, she is also a photographer. So when you go to her Facebook page, you'll see some of her amazing photography. So
thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye for now.
This episode of The Bill and Callie Show is brought to you by Sip Coffee House 2 in Highland, Indiana on Jewett Avenue. Great coffee, lattes, smoothies, and more. Food and treats you will adore. Small town charm with big city selection. It's Sip Coffee House 2. If it's breakfast, brunch, or lunch you need, Les Café is the place to go, indeed. Open 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. 7 days a week. Les Café Pancake House, located in Highland, Indiana on Highway Avenue. Les Café, where less is more. Promise You Art House, a fun and vibrant place for local artisans to display and sell their creative works, owned and operated by artists for artists. Conveniently located at 8830 Kennedy Avenue in Highland, Indiana. For hours and events, visit pyarthouse.com or follow them on Facebook. Promise You Art House, where creativity reigns.